about 7 miles away from the runway. There's a waypoint called Relin. So when we hit that waypoint, we're going to break off the approach and start that circle to land on the other runway. Okay. Yeah. I'll let you know when we get that. Alright, I'm going to set something called your auto brake as well. So our auto brake is an automatic braking system. When we touch down, you don't have to worry about the braking because our auto brake is going to slam on the brakes for you. Okay. But when we're slow enough, you can just kind of hop up on the toe brakes, bring us to a full stop. Okay. Or I can do it for you. It doesn't really matter. Alright.
What kind of plane are we flying here?
This is a Boeing 737.
Okay.
These are the ones that Southwest uses, Delta, American, okay. Like every airline has this plane pretty much. It seats about 170 people, something like that. That's our trim.
Okay.
You know what the trim does?
Yeah, it just like helps level it out.
Yeah, basically it allows you to decrease the amount of control pressure you're doing. Okay. So if you find yourself constantly having to like push down, you can trim the nose down a little bit so it relieves a little bit of that pressure. Okay. Coming up on 18,000 feet. What are you doing? We're seeing that as you on time. Alright, you want to go back there?
Alright.
Haven't gone sick yet?
Looking good.
See, he's flying it really well. It's almost like we're on autopilot. Nice and smooth up here.
So, I mean, is this like from a junk plane or something like that?
No, it's actually there's a company called Flight Deck Solutions that makes pretty much exact mock-ups of real airliner cockpits. This is a 7.3, but they also make 747s, 787s. I don't know if they make any Airbus products, but yeah, if we decide to expand in the future, we don't know if we're gonna go for like a 747 or like a Dreamliner or something. I don't know. It would be cool though.
So is this just like weather radar back and forth then or something, or? Like
so that's our navigation display. It's basically a giant map. So like this is where we are right here, and this is our route. The pink line is the route that we're going on. Okay. All the green stuff, it's actually not weather, it's terrain. Okay. So if you see it's green, that means we're a safe distance above it. Okay. But if we're flying in the mountains, like in like Denver or something, you'll see some of it start turning yellow. Yellow means we're getting a little bit too close to that terrain. Okay. And then if it's red, that means the mountains or whatever it is actually above our current altitude. So it's really helpful for when you're in the clouds and you're flying in like Aspen or Denver or whatever. Just so it gives you that much better terrain awareness.
Gotcha, yeah, because I see that thing kind of going back and forth like a, like a wiper or whatever.
Exactly. It's literally just going out in like a lighthouse, scanning all the terrain, making sure you're well above it. And you see this little green arc right here? Yeah. That's telling you at your current rate of descent, that's when you're going to reach 8,000 feet. Oh, so it says we're going to reach 8,000 feet before we hit pre-note, so that's good. Okay. So in aviation, not sure if you knew this or not, but in aviation there's a speed limit. Below 10,000 feet, you can't go above 250 knots. Right now we're about 300 knots of indicated airspeed at least, and we are coming up on 10,000 feet pretty soon. So we're going to start slowing this thing down here. Okay. We're going to let the auto throttle do it, but we might need to help the airplane slow down by deploying our speed brakes. So when we hit about 11,000 feet, I might throw out your speed brakes, and we're going to level out a little bit, decrease that speed, and then continue our descent. Okay. Coming through some clouds here. Okay, just coming up at 12,000. Yeah, and I actually might start slowing down now. Okay. So when I deploy the speed brake, hold the nose down because the airplane's nose is actually going to want to pop up. Okay. So just hold it down, make sure it doesn't do that. I recognize that sound when you fly.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the little things on top of the wings that come up. They disrupt the airflow. Okay. Help us slow down. And we're going to start leveling out this nose a little bit here so we can help the airplane slow down even more. Yep, so whenever you hear that sound when you fly, it's no big deal. Just the pilot's trying to slow down. Yeah, the pilots try to use it as like conservatively as possible just because it like shakes the entire airplane. And it's probably not good for like the scared or like the nervous flyers or whatever.
Right.
So basically just, if you want to look at this real quick, once we hit this waypoint Relin, we're going to break off and circle over there. Okay. So we'll have the runway in sight by then. You'll see what I mean. In regards to the runway we're circling to. Lose 10,000 feet, I'll swing on your landing lights real quick. Once we're past this big cloud right here, we should be able to see Vegas, hopefully. If we can't see it, I'll have to clear up the weather a little bit. Let's see. That's telling you how far above or below we are for our vertical profile. So right now it's saying we're a little bit higher than where we need to be. Okay. And you can also see by looking at this little display right here. It says we're about 200 feet too high right now. Okay. But that's no problem. There's a lot of small deviations that happen in flight. Okay. As long as we meet the altitude constraints set in by the approach plate or in our flight management computer right here, we should be fine. Okay. So we're just coming up on Prino now. So we're going to drop down to 6,500 feet. So down to 65 please. I'm going to tell it to go down a little faster here. I'm going to bring your speed brakes out a little bit more here. Prino nose up a bit more here. I still can't see the airport. I'm gonna go and get out the weather real quick here, just so I can see where we're going. That usually helps. There it is. Cool. So right now we're lined up with this runway right here. Okay. And what we're gonna do when we're 7 miles away, when we hit the waypoint, what's it called, Relin. When we hit Relin, we're gonna break off the approach and we're gonna fly this way. We're gonna get pretty close to the casinos and everything over there. Okay. And you'll make a big left turn and line up with runway 19 right, which is, it goes like this way over here. Okay. So.
It's supposed to be 6,500 feet.
Yep, no, you're doing really good. 65 at Larry. We're gonna be at Larry in another half mile. After this, drop down to 5,200 feet.
Okay, so how do you know all these altitudes?
It's in your FMC on this right here. See, Luxor at 52.
Okay.
Cool. Let's see, VNAV back on. Alright. Now we're pretty close to the airport. I'm going to start throwing out your flaps. You'll see a big red band come down on your airspeed display. Yeah. So that is basically our flap overspeed bands. So I'm going to slow you down a little bit more here, because we don't want to get too close to that. What that means is if you go above that speed with your flaps out, you might damage them. So okay. Don't want to do that. Right, down to 52. And our circling minimums for this approach are 3,500 feet. So bring me down to 3,500 feet when we cross Huxer. So Huxer and another 1 mile. After that, bring me down to 3,200 feet, and we're going to complete the circling maneuver at 3,200 feet.
Gotcha.
Cool. Flaps 5. Cool. Yep. So down to 35 now. To Relin. So remember, Relin's the point at which we're going to start that circling. So when we hit Relin in 3 miles, we're going to break off the approach. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut off your flight director. So you're just going to look outside, and you're just going to circle by looking outside. We can't see the runway we're circling to from this vantage point. So what you're going to do is you're just going to fly, literally just fly towards the strip. We're gonna fly towards the strip, and then we'll see the airport. Or we'll see the runway eventually. That's good, that's good. All right, there's Relin in about another mile, so just keep flying straight for now. All right. And before we start those circling, I want to get configured for landing. So let's go and lower landing gear, so out and down with that one. Flaps 15. I'm going to get slowed down a bit more. Okay. All right, and there's Relin, so let's go ahead and I'm going to shut off your flight director now. Fly towards that building right there. Beautiful. Flaps 30. The airplane's all configured to land now. All you got to do is land it. No biggie. Cool.
Just keep turning, or?
Why don't we fly towards the stratosphere, actually. Okay. Point me at the stratosphere right there, so you can level out right here. Hold those wings up. Beautiful. You're holding on to very well. You can just maintain 33, no problem. Okay. And when we get, we're literally just going to keep flying this way until we can see the runway. Okay. There's going to be 2 sets of parallel runways, or two runways next to each other. We'll be landing on the right. Okay. So, can't see it quite yet, so just keep flying out this way.
Touching the throttle, just...
At this point, I think they would. Okay. It's up to you if you want to or not.
No, I just
curious.
Yeah, it's one less thing.
Usually, if you have the autopilot off, you also have your auto throttle off, just because it improves your mind. What's the word I'm looking for? Like your connection with the airplane, I guess. Okay. So you're like completely disregarding the automation at that point. Start to sort of see the runways. Right. There's 2 of them right there. It's really hard to see from this vantage point, but just keep it going out this way a bit more.
Keep turning, or just keep
going straight here. Yeah. Right, and at this point we can start going down a little bit. So the airport elevation is, let's see, it is 2,200 feet. Right now we're at 3,200 feet, so you have 1,000 feet to play with here. Okay. And there's our runway right there. You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So now we can start turning in towards the runway. Beautiful. And yeah, it's really just up to you to judge your altitude and everything. Cool, very good. Very good, awesome. Nice, you're doing this perfectly, awesome. See those lights next to the runway?
Yeah.
So I believe there's 3 for this runway. Okay. Actually, no, there's 4. You want to see 2 white lights and 2 red lights. Okay. That means you're on glide path. Right now there's 3 red lights, which means we're a little bit low, not too low, but we're a little low. There we go. Now that's back to 2 white and 2 red. Beautiful, nice. Alrighty, this is looking awesome actually. Very nice. You can steepen the bank a little bit steeper here. There we go. We might overshoot it a little bit. That's okay. Nothing we can't correct here. Very good. Yep, you can let the nose drop a little bit. Beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and hand your throttle for you now. Yep, just bring us to the left a little bit more. A little bit more to the left here. There we go. And now we can just make a gentle right turn and line up with the runway. Beautiful. Might want to get your feet ready as well.
500.
There we go.
Do I get rudder controls too on this or no?
When you touch down, yes.
Okay. But right now it's
right now, no. Gotcha. Try to put me down on 1,000 footers, those big white boxes, the piano keys. Nose up a little bit more. Alright. Now, yep, just hold it right here. Hold it right here. And just let it sit. Let it fly until it doesn't want to fly anymore. Turn up a tiny bit. Gorgeous. Awesome. Reversers are coming out. And now you can use your feet. Keep us on that runway center line. Nice. Awesome. That was one of the best landings I've seen in a while. Nice job. Just coming past 80 knots. We're going to keep those reversers out. 60 knots now. So now you can use your toe brakes if you can reach them. Yep,
manual braking.
Yep, make sure you press both of them at the same time and bring me to a full stop right here on the runway. Nicely done. Very good.